I read a quote inside a CD cover 2 weeks ago and I cannot stop thinking about it. I've been in this phase lately of going back to CDs, and it happened on accident. It happened because my Bluetooth would not connect to my mum's car and I had to drive 3.5 hours. So I picked up my old CD case from when I was a kid and I just took it with me. And I started putting these CDs in, and it made me realize we've optimized everything, but it's not necessarily better. We never actually see the full arc of the artist anymore. We never get to see the exact way they structured everything. We never listened to anything from start to finish, and the process of listening to CDs has taught me so much. I've been finding all these artists that I used to listen to when I was younger, and I didn't realize how much they shaped me. Also, it's accidentally been the most important process for me right now because I'm currently building my first self-produced album, and it's made me really think back about my early influences, think back about what shaped me, and it is the same sorts of styles that I keep returning to. Also, I've always been so conflicted about myself as an artist because I make this really deep, reflective, personal music, but then I also make really fun stuff that makes people want to get up and dance and vibe. And so I always felt conflicted about putting that in the same container, but then I listened to CDs, and that's what artists have been doing for centuries. It's just because now artists just drop a short little EP and that's all we see is one little element of them. We just see the songs that their label have decided these are safe, let's release them. We don't see the full artist arc anymore. And anyway, the quote that I found inside the CD is, "As a human race, we come together for birth, we come together for death. What brings us together in between is up to us." The part that won't leave me alone is this in between. Why do we celebrate someone so much at the end of their life? And when someone's dead, that's the final chapter, the closing point. Everything that we thought that we could or would do, everything we thought that they could or would be is no longer. I lost my father and my grandfather very close together, very tragic circumstances, and there was no notice. It was like one day they were there and then the next day they were gone. So we had no ability to prepare for their death at all. Then a year later, my other grandfather got very sick, and he was sick for a little while, but his wife was in denial about that. And so we could not acknowledge that he was sick. We could not acknowledge that there was anything wrong with him. We had to just pretend, right? And this felt like we were being robbed because finally we did actually know that this life was coming to an end, but we could not even enjoy it. We could not even enjoy these little moments. And I reflected a lot because all of her actions are quite performative. Like, we would get really big birthday presents. We would, she would make a point to come and visit us, and we would have coffee and we would have cake and we would go and do these things. But as his life was nearing an end and I was thinking about the moments that I valued with him, it was none of those big things. It wasn't the presents they bought me or them taking me to places. It wasn't going to these little fancy shops and buying things. The moments that I actually valued with him were the just sitting around the table, were the just sitting there making jokes, laughing, telling stories. The moments when his quirky personality could just come out and it could shine. And I think it was through experiencing his death and having that hindsight of my dad and my other grandfather who had recently passed, of just knowing what's really important and what else is just noise. These weird expectations of what you think should be that you don't actually realize until it is too late. Those are the types of moments that we're having less and less of in this world. And I think that's why, as an artist, my obsession is with the in-between, with those moments, with sharing the beauty that lies in them, and with reminding people to fully embrace them, and reminding people that the most important things aren't these big extravagant things. It's the little moments. It's the chaotic family dinners. It's the cups of teas around the bench. It's the sitting watching them read the newspaper. It's the quirky jokes. That's what it is. At the end of it all, those are the little things we remember. I could not tell you one present that I remember getting from any of them, except for maybe when I got an iPod Touch, and that was a really big thing. But apart from that, none of that sticks in my memory at all. I can't remember anything that we ever bought on a shopping trip, but I can remember just sitting, having meals. I can remember the conversations that we had. I can remember being taught how to cut meat properly by my grandfather while he's like, "You're doing it too rough, you've got to be gentle." I can remember all these like foundational, fundamental things. I remember another one of my grandfathers teaching me how to make porridge. I remember those little in-between moments. Those are the things that stick. When my dad passed away, there were so many people that showed up, and these people, there were people who hadn't been there, there were people who would never really be there again, but they all came together. People I hadn't seen in years, and everyone expressed their love, everyone expressed their sadness, and everyone partied. It was a party that I'd never ever seen before, even for an alive person. And I just kept thinking how crazy it is that we wait until someone's gone to celebrate a life like that. Lately, I've been a part of some really big milestones. I'm getting to the age where a lot of my friends are getting married. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like hollow when I'm actually inside of them. And when I'm traveling, and there's all these bucket list places that I went to and I was so excited to see and explore. But the times when I felt most alive were in these little random in-between moments.
¿Cómo se llamas otra vez?
Leticia.
Leticia, mucho gusto.
When I've just been in a tuk-tuk with a group of people that I'd only met that morning who felt like family, and I remember just looking around and just thinking how happy I felt, how fulfilled I felt. Or when I was busking in this little town that I wasn't even planning to go to, the only reason I went there was because my flight got cancelled, and this little girl came up and started singing with me. And I realized the reason why I felt so much joy in those moments is because there was no expectation behind them. And that type of joy is something that we're all so disconnected from. It leads me to really question, why do we show up so fully at the end, but not in the middle? And it's not that people don't care, it's just that we're postponing the way that we care. Like, we assume that there's gonna be another time, another moment, another chance to show up properly. And then one day there isn't. And everything that was meant for later has nowhere to go. And that's what we call guilt. And it's not that we didn't love, it's that we didn't act on it while we could. And maybe that's why it feels like people show up more out of guilt than joy, because guilt is all that's left when love arrives too late. And I really don't think that's a personal failure. I think that's just something that's wrong with our society as a whole at the moment. We're so busy, we're so distracted. We are living our lives more through a screen. We're watching life the same amount, if not more, than we're actually living it. We're seeing moments through other people. We're seeing algorithms that push this division. They push the peaks and troughs. There's no long form content. All we see is these highs. And so stories are completely flattened. Lives are completely flattened. We're seeing versions that were never the full picture. We're seeing sensationalism. We're seeing things that make people click, that make people feel something, that make people angry. And we're missing what's actually there in the middle. The quiet, slow things where moments are built. And I think that's why we just have such a big hype over these big events. Because when you do get married or have a baby or have this big spectacular, I'm at Machu Picchu, people comment, people like, people are excited. And then people are chasing that dopamine of the reaction around their experience, often more than the actual experience itself. People are wanting to create a wedding day that is just so amazing, that has all these things to it. Almost, they're worried about the memory of the day more than the actual day. And I think why we're so devoid and stripped of joy currently, it's not that we don't know how to feel it. It's that we don't give ourselves a chance to notice it while it's actually happening. So we finally arrive, and there's nothing left to arrive to. Just the space where it used to be, and everything we meant to give it.
Put the kettle on, how else do I say? I need you to stay. Nothing's promised, but can you promise me you'll still be here in the morning?
If you were reincarnated, what would you come back as?
Cut the line.
Person.
The only thing
A person?
keeping us
Why?
together
Would be a dog.
What
sort of person would you want to be? A good person.
Time.
What? So you'd try again and you'd be good this time next time?
It's on our side.
What sort of person? What would you be doing if you were reincarnated?
Have you got me on?
No, well, it's
One more piece, thanks.
yeah. What would you be?
I'd be